that started. Alright guys, so let's start taking this through here now. We're going to give the tank, I'm going to give you lead so you can drop full timers. So now here's a couple things you want to think about. The idea behind any Mythic Plus dungeon, what you should be looking at when you're walking into, is you want to stay in combat as much as possible. You always want to be fighting as much as possible. And you want to try and focus ads that have a higher percent for the amount of life that they have, right? So you don't want, like this Forlorn Spirit here is an example of an ad that you don't really want to fuck with, right? It's one ad, it's got a lot of life, it's not with a ton of percentage. So you want to try and mitigate this one. So like as a DK, I can use spells like Control on Dead. Right here. Pull that out for now. Yeah, that's fine. And that way we can grab that ad, mitigate it, and just run by. If you have a Demon Hunter, they can slave it or banish it. You know, there's ways to CC those and mitigate it, we can just run by. Okay? Go ahead and give me a 10-second cooldown timer. We're going to start this key. So for this ad, for the sake of this one, we're going to actually kill this ad because it's a good one to talk about. They have one really bad ability, and that's that Terrifying Wail. And that's going to need to be interrupted. If it doesn't get interrupted, it's going to fear everybody. So we're going to walk up on this ad here and be watching for that cast. Let's go and get it focused. Another thing that can't be overstated is your potions of prolonged power, right? Everybody has them, and you should be using them nearly on cooldown. You want to use them out of combat, and the reason for that is if you're not in combat when you pop the potion, it's going to immediately start to recharge. If you use it when you're in combat, the recharge time won't start until you're out of combat. Okay, so you want to round this corner here. We want to be looking for this very first pat. More than one way to interrupt stuff also. We'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, there it is. That's fine. Move up on it quick. Pull both of those together. So we're going to pop that potion. We're going to come in here and we're going to get rocking on these guys. Now, see how tight he's got these stacked up? That means Sanguini is going to be a problem once they start to die. Start kiting. You want to use some of these edges here for line of sight. Like around this corner. These guys have one really, really nasty ability called their Penny's ability. We'll give it just a second here, and I'm sure you're going to see it. Pennies from Heaven. Once that cast goes off, you're going to start seeing these swirlies, right? Those are going to kill people quickly. So, like Demon Hunters have a way to AoE fear things, or AoE silence. What you'll want to do is you'll want your Demon Hunter tank to pull one or two of these packs, try and get the pulls as close as possible at the same time. And then once they try and start that Pennies from Heaven, you're going to want to CC them. Once they start that channeled cast, CC them. I think it's the purple sigil. Or not. Or Shether's going to kill him off before we actually get a chance. Alright. One of you should be able to take these guys. Grab both these next two packs together. Now, as that Sanguine starts to drop, you're going to want to use an edge to line of sight. Alright. We're going to go and get damage out on these, try and get as many of them down as possible. We want to be using our grips to move them out of that. The pennies can fuck your face on the fortifier. Yeah. So now everybody needs to get around this edge to move her out of that in line of sight. So everybody ducks behind a corner, see how she moves. That's perfect. Now we can start taking her. And we want to be very, very careful about those pennies from Heaven, man, because those things are the truth. So there's an example. Like Death Grip is almost another form of interrupt, right? Like I could use that when they're casting Pennies from Heaven to break that cast. There's several other abilities that you'll find that useful, and you have different kinds of stuns that Capacity can work for Bear's Mighty Bash. Several things that are going to either break a channel or silence that can be used for those. Other examples are going to be the eye cast on the Inquisitors in Court of Stars. Right, being able to grip those once they start that eye cast is huge. Pretty much stops all of that damage. Things like Arcway, there's a few ads there that you want to grab. You want to grip for their Doom Prophecies, things like that. So what do we got here? We got Westfall's Story. This one's not too bad. This is actually a pretty easy fight. So you can see that active timer. You want to pull on active. So you want to be watching your active timer. When that gets down to about 2, we're going to pop our pre-pot and get ready to go. We're going to start off on Tony's side. So we're going to start moving over there. There we go. Focus Tony. And we're just going to open up with some cleave. Now these ads aren't going to drop Sanguine, so it's not really a concern. Get out of that big knee sweep there. And once he hits about 60%, he's going to basically phase, and she's going to become active, okay? This side's actually a little bit rougher. You're going to get these little orb abilities on you. You can move out of them. You can also use things like Cloak or AMS to remove those debuffs, right? So you never have to actually worry about taking the damage or moving off target. These waves here, they move across the pattern. If you're in the middle of the room, they're going to be a lot harder to dodge than if you can kind of just hang out off to one of the sides. It makes it really easy. Stand there in between them. Once it passes past you, sidestep a couple yards, you're good to go. Easy. Once she gets down to about 50, 40% or what have you, Tony's going to come back out. We're going to do some more damage to him. Now you're going to get all of these abilities at once, right? But again, it's not that complicated. We're just going to sit off to the side here and allow these waves to kind of move around us. And we're going to try and keep these guys both in cleave range. Watch the fire on the floor. Standing in fire is usually a bad thing. Now for the sake of today, we're just going to move through this next hallway, kind of chill out. Pull these like 2 packs at a time. But one thing you'll see us do on stream sometime, on weeks where you can get away with it. Okay. You can actually reach down over these, drop a cast, and pull that pack, and you'll want to drop another cast? No, we're not going to do that today. And you'll pull that pack, and that'll grab everything from through here all the way up and around the hallway, through these next corridors, and it'll bring all the trash to this doorway. Okay, it's a really big pull. Lets you get a lot of trash in really quickly, but we're not going to worry about that. Alright, we're going to tag this next one, and you're going to want to move into this hallway here. No, move forward, and you don't want to hang out in this room. It's really, really easy for any kind of cleave abilities to pull all the stuff that's hanging up on the upper levels of this room. So you want to come into this here, you want to hide out right around this corner. That's going to line of sight them. It's going to force them to move into this room here. It'll minimize the amount of cleave that's going to pull extra trash. Okay, so as that Sanguine drops, we're basically just going to back up. As that Sanguine drops, keep backing up, keep backing up. If stuff gets stopped and it keeps casting to where it's not moving, just use these edges here to line of sight, right? Hide behind here until they move, come back out once they're in a position you like, go back to damage. If they get stuck under that on top of that Sanguine again, easy, just move around the edge again. You don't have to hang out, wait for them to come all the way to the door, you're going to lose your line of sight for it. You just want to kind of, scoot them a little bit. Okay. Now, these specs here are very, very different. These ones here have a Firelance Portal cast that's going to do some crazy AoE damage, right? So you're going to want to pull this one pack of these dancing girls here, and once that Firelance Portal comes out, you're going to want to try and use some kind of AoE silence stun CC. So an Arcane Torrent to bust them all up, or one of your silencing moves would be really good here. Now again, because of that Sanguine, we're going to try and cleave them all down as close as possible. Purify casts aren't big. Here comes those Firelance Portals. You see he got that rune off. They all got stopped. And no damage really went out, right? For these next two, grab both of these Singing Patrons, the ones to the left and the one to the right, pull them back over to this corner. We're going to cleave those off together. These guys don't have a lot of health and they don't do a lot of damage. And again, always trying to kind of cleave these evenly to minimize the amount of sanguine pools that we have to kite around. Once we get to the point that we are kiting, you want to kind of switch your focus. You want to start going for the low packs, right? Because as he's moving these trash pools, you want pools dropping for him, okay? Alright, same thing. Once they start that cast, AoE silence. Let's go ahead and get on these guys. We're getting Firelance portals. You can see the portals popping up and then going away, right? We're going to go ahead and get that interrupt there. Rip that one out of the Sanguine. Firelance portal comes out. Now that single portal got off. That is what you want to be looking for. That's what you want to be trying to accomplish there. Okay, for the next one, we're going to move through this sidewalk here, and we're going to grab up all of these ushers. Okay? Now, one thing you got to be really careful about is since you're pulling them at different times, their cooldown on that flashlight cast is going to be different. If you can pull them all at the exact same time, you'll get all 4 flashlights at the same time. So you can just kind of look away for a couple of seconds and you're safe. If you stagger the pulls, though, you will get a lot of sequential flashlight casts. Flashlight, and it can last 4 or 5 seconds. So the idea there is you really want to pull those as fast as possible together. Now for this one here, you're going to want to run right into the middle of that. You want to get threat on everything. Once you kind of get a rune down, you get some threat established, me and Shether are going to make those ads go bye-bye. So you're shooting for about the blue marker. You want to get all of it. If you just pull one ad from the left, you'll get both packs, whereas the ones on the right actually count as 2 separate packs. Alright, here we go. We're going to nuke. Let's go ahead and get these guys down. Start moving them for that Sanguine. There's a lot of pools there, and they're going to top up really quickly. These guys are non-elites and do not have a lot of health, though. Listen what I say. Since we already cleared out those ushers, the kite pattern really doesn't matter. There's not a lot else here that's going to do damage to us. Not a huge concern here. Got thread going on over here too. Alright, let's start moving towards these next ad packs and get these ones wrapped up. Alright, there's 2 more ushers here. There's going to be a couple of paths that move around that are elite mobs. You're going to see one of those servants moving right there. Go ahead and grab that servant with it. Actually, I'll grab it for you. Again, being very, very mindful of that flashlight cast. If the tank takes a flashlight, somebody dies. Okay. These blocks right here and this edge are your line of sight points to keep stuff out of the Sanguine. Now, for this next pack here you got to pull, which is those guys, those are all non-elite, so there's not a lot they're going to do. You pull them pretty much all back here at once and they're going to go down really, really quickly. There tends to be one caster that's going to get stuck over there, but that's not a problem. We can grip it. Alright, let's get these guys nuked down really fast again. They're not elites, they go down really quickly. Grab this valet, and let's move into this next hallway. Now, watch those packs on those hostesses. We also want to make sure that we're... Oh, you can pull more with this valet. We want to make sure we're keeping them away from those edges. If one of them, or if you get too close to these extra rooms, you can pull a lot of extra trash you just don't necessarily want. Sorry, it came up with that. I think it'd be fun. I think it'll work out. I just hope people enjoy it. Time will tell. Alright, we're going to do the same thing. Now, if they start getting to the point that they're being kind of a pain in the butt about moving, where's your line of sight point you want to use? You got a pat right here. A couple of hostesses. You want to be looking every hallway, and you want to be finding out where your line of sight points are going to be. Okay. Now here's something to notice. You see that rug right here? The red that's popping up through that? What is that? Loud, this is as much for you as it is for him. Oh, Banshee Whale. Okay, these guys, these hostesses turn into these Banshees. That Banshee Whale is incredibly deadly. They all need to be interrupted or people die. Just like that. So as those Banshees turn, don't pull into that room, there's way more trash in there. As those Banshees turn, as the tank typically is going to be your job. You want to mark them in sequence and you want to call for an interrupt. So mark one, Loud take blue, Rin take purple, and you'll take skull. And then she beat me at pool, and then she kissed me like there was nobody else in the room. As last orders were called was when she stood on the being able to coordinate interrupts, stun, CCs, slows, and silences is very, very good for this. But if you're looking here, you'll see the sanguine that's spawning up doesn't actually pop up through the rug. So you want to be very, very careful about killing stuff in the middle here, because people will think it's safe to move through this area in the room, and it will actually kill them very, very quickly. Not to mention, if you kite ads on top of it, they'll be able, which is nasty. Alright, so we got one guardsman, we got one sentry. We're going to grip this sentry here. Bring it back this way. Now, those guardsmen are going to use that shield smash right there. You see them casting that. It's a frontal cone ability that will stun whoever gets hit. So that means two things. For that shield smash, you want to make sure that you're facing away from the rest of the group, because that frontal smash will hit anybody else that's around you, not just primary target. And it's also a stun. So as those guardsmen are casting that, you want to be moving in a way where you're not going to nuke your friends, and you're not going to take it to the face. Sanguine in water also sucks? Yes, it does. It absolutely does. Alright, for these guys right here, if you're ever pulling through this hallway and you're pulling a little bit bigger, you can use these blocks right here as line of sight points. Or you can move all the way into the room, whatever you're more comfortable with. But these little blocks right here, if you see where I'm standing, those actually work for line of sight points. Yeah, you see that sentry moving to you there? And the sentries are typically casters, so that's how you know it works. Alright, there's not a lot to her. Go ahead and give us a pull timer. Now for her, we're going to drop that pull timer. We're going to pre-pot again at 2. And we're going to pop off. Here we go. We're not going to be less than this boss, so that's fine. We're just going to kind of walk these out. Holy Bolt, not a lot you can do with it. You're just going to have to take it. Sacred Ground, you need to run off to the edge of the room as far as possible, because you're going to create those pools there on the ground, right? It's very important. Keep those in mind. Holy Shock needs to be interrupted. Holy Shock is an interruptible cast. Does a lot of damage. So you want to make sure you're grabbing all of those. It can one-shot people at higher levels. It gets really, really nasty. Okay, here comes Master Pens. Now you need to walk into this yellow stuff. You want to get one stack of that debuff, and you want to move out. Because once she goes into Master Penance, which we killed her before I got in there. That sucks. That actually kind of sucks. Damn it, Shether. We're supposed to be teaching him, not just fucking killing it all. Can you just take your boots off or something? It'll be fine. Just take, like, take off your wrists. Alright. 3.3 mil single target? Fuck, dude. Okay. So the way that boss works, though, is we're going to still want to talk about it. Once she goes into that Master Penance cast, you want to move off into one of those yellow circles. You're going to want to take one stack of that debuff, right? Because once she casts, we didn't need that bowl. Once she casts that Master Penance, she's going to stun everybody. And the way that you get out of that stun is to take damage. So having that stack on you beforehand is crucial. Yeah, these are actually elites. These suck. You never want to pull these. You want to just hang out along this wall over here and move into the bottom part of the room. Ooh, kill Shether. Hurry, he's gonna kill us all. Alright, we did not need these. Oh, it is. Let's interrupt that. I'm gonna pop a res on him. Oh my god, my res button's on the wrong button. That was a fucking mistake. Alright, can you res me? I'm gonna talk for a minute. So for that last boss, she starts that Master Repentance cast about 5 seconds prior. You want to move off from one of those yellow pools, take 1 second of that debuff. She casts Master Repentance, right? Once that you take 1 tick of that damage, that dot damage, you're going to be broken out of that stun. It's perfect. You actually want that. At that point, you can cloak, you can AMS, you can do something to remove that debuff if you have that ability. If not, the healer's just going to have to heal through this mechanic. Now, once she starts that, she's also going to give herself a small shield and start a cast, okay? You need to DPS burst through that shield and then interrupt that cast. If she gets it off, it's a wipe. She just one-shots everybody. It's really, really nasty. So, Master Repentance, move off, take a stack, come back, wait for the stun breaks itself, do a bunch of damage. Once the interruptible cast comes or appears as yellow, interrupt it and move on. You're fine. And that's that whole boss, okay? Aside from that, move the yellow pools off to the side of the room and interrupt Holy Shot. Easy enough. Down to Casual. What's up, man? See you fix the CP? Yeah, man, we got it working. It's pretty good. I think it's Holy Shock. I think it's Holy Shock. Oh. I was really hoping you guys would come around that other side so we could run through it as normal. So typically we'd be dropping in right there off of that ledge. You can see that was the platform where we were standing. And you'd be dropping down to that corner. No, that's fine. Since they wiped, they kind of took another route around and they're standing over on these other balconies. You can get over there by running all the way around here. And you'll pop up around over here. But we're not going to worry about that, just for the sake of time. So, big thing to remember. Everything at the tables is non-elites. The blueberries are very, very much elites. So, you can pull as many of these little non-elites as you want. Did you jump before it? Yeah, I want you to want me to take you back home to my mama. Put my name on your lips, call me yours, and forget all this drama. So you can see how fast these little non-elites melt, right? They don't have much life. If I find one that's not damaged, they have 10 million life. Okay? So they go down very, very, very quickly. I was rest of the weekend. It was great, man. Saturday was really, really cool. We had 1,000 followers on Saturday. We gave away some game time. Had a lot of fun. Drank some. Had some tequila. It was really good. Are we last call kissing? Are we dancing in the kitchen, baby? Tell me what it is or what it isn't. Are we written in the stars, babe? So now these bigger guys, we call them just blueberries. You're doing fine, buddy. Don't even worry about it. That's what we're here for. Alright, so we're going to run this alternate path here. Are we just a backseat? Trying to get turned around? Are we names and a tattoo? Or is the door just closed? Yeah, somebody closed the door behind them. That messed me all up. So now we're going to run over here, and this is the balconies that we were just standing on. So that's the alternate way around if you do wind up wiping. So we're going to jump down here. It looks like they're pulling this other blueberry here. So that's fine. Let's get this guy here down. We're ready to go. I wonder if I can control undead one of the boss ads. Wouldn't that be amazing, though? Once that dies, we're backing up. We want to stay out of that sanguine. Yeah, so this phantom guest here needs to die, and that way we're able to get those traps. We're going to want to kill all these off. Now, if you can move these back over into this corner, that would be much mo better. We want to keep that corner there sanguine free if possible. There's a waiter we need to kill off. He's padding in. There's going to be random waiters that kind of pat through. You just got to cleave them until they're gone. The waiters don't do a whole lot. They're just kind of target dummies. They hit the tank a little bit. Not too bad. Now, Loud, why don't you grab one of these traps? I'll grab the other. And we're going to talk about Moreaus. So, for Moreaus, there's 4 ads that pop up with him, right? Now, each of these ads is actually going to buff the boss, and each other. So we want to make sure we're CCing a couple of these guys. So, Loud, you'll notice you got a special action button when you pick that trap up. You're going to want to use it on green, and I'll use mine on moon. Darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is so once we get down to that, once he starts the pull timer at about 5, go ahead and throw that trap. Just target whoever it is and click that special action button. No, let's not shackle one. That'll be fun. We're just going to live with the other 2. So the way we want to do that, so the way we're going to pull this then is you're going to taunt Moreaus and you're going to move over to blue. That's going to force the other 2 ads to line of sight around that corner to you. Okay? At that point, everybody's going to focus down Skull. We're going to kill that one off, and then we're going to move to the other ad. And then by that point, those other 2 ads should be over there. If not, I'll grip one. It's fine. And we'll focus that down. We just want to kind of work through those ads one at a time, with just some passive cleave going on to Moreaus throughout the fight. She shares my dreams. I hope that someday I'll share her home. I found a love. Alright, take him to green. It's the same thing. Okay. Ready? Give me a 10-second pull timer. Now, if Moreaus gets to 60%, he will break out everybody else. That's nasty. Let's focus the Skull down. Just do as much damage to this as we can. Pop a dragon. Alright, that one's dead. Good. We're going to move on to this other ad. You can see how fast they drop. They don't have a lot of life. It's a non-tyrannical kind of setting. It's going pretty quick. Get on this ad here. Now this ad here has a mana drain ability that's really nasty. She gets a full cast off on Snuggles. Snuggles going to be we're probably going to die. Especially in a Grievous setting. So you want to make sure that those mana drains are getting interrupted every single time. And you want to nuke her down as fast as possible. Now that she's gone, we're going to move on to Crispin. Here comes Willbreaker. You can see that slight yellow outline on the floor. When he goes to start casting that Willbreaker, you want to get out of that. On a tyrannical setting or a high level key, that will absolutely one-shot you. Now that they're all dead, we can just focus down Moreaus. Just watch out. You might have to pop some kind of personal Fruits Garrote ability or things like Health Potions, Block Rocks. If you start getting low, that Garrote can really, really hurt in a Grievous setting. So Vanish, 1 stack of Garrote, you see it's there. It's doing 250k every second. And you notice that doesn't have a timer. You can't just wait for that to run off. Once you got it for the dungeon. And it's really, really nasty. So for this one, you're going to want to grab that Warden there. And you want to line of sight all that stuff to about purple. There's usually a caster or something over there, and you want to make sure you get it all grouped up real nice. Now, where's your next line of sight point? You should already be looking for it, because these are dying into Sanguine, and you need to be kiting. There you go. Perfect. That'll do just fine for getting any casters to move right over there with you. So that should have got most everything that we needed from this area. What we'll do is we'll just kind of move through here. If anybody picks anything up, because there's a couple of padding waiters there that do like to come over and say hi, or the servant here. If anybody picks anything up, you just want to taunt it and drag it down the stairs a little way. We'll cleave it off as we go. Not really a big deal. If we leave Sanguine on these stairs, it really means nothing. Now, on lower keys, or in a setting where big trash pulls are going to be incredibly beneficial, you can actually taunt Midnight. It'll grab all the trash for you, and if you pull Midnight out this door here, it'll reset the boss, but you'll hold the trash. So that's a really easy way to get everything from this room grouped up without dealing with the boss. We're not going to do that because it's Sanguine and it's nasty. So you're going to want to come into this room and you're going to grab all the horses out of this room. You've got 3 of them. There's a couple more over here on this other side. These horses are going to do a trampling charge ability, or spectral charge, whatever it's called. Basically, they run in a line and hurt people. So stay out of the big purple lines, interrupt their stun where you can. It is a cast, so you can use your silencing rune on it. That stable hand is going to continue to try and cast heals out for all of his little horsey buddies. Make him pay. You want to keep him interrupted at all times. Okay. Perfect. We don't really care about this room here being filled up with Sanguine. It's not really going to matter. So, we're going to move into here. You're going to want to grab all those, or you're going to want to probably taunt the ones on the left, throw glaive on the ones on the right, something to hit both of them. And you're going to move to this point right here. That's going to line of sight them all up into this doorway for you, right? Now, what should you be looking for immediately? As these big fire circles start popping up, you need to be moving out of them. Alright, and he's already moving back here. You can see we're kind of dropping some Sanguine. There we go. And he's line of sighting up and around this corner. That's keeping him moving and out of that Sanguine. It looks good. We're going to go ahead and give him a little grip. Give him a little help. A little bit of self-healing here. Just make sure that you don't get dead. Alright, that side's all cleared out. Now we're going to go left. So here it's all horses and stable hands. The idea is always going to be you want to pull as big as you can without dying. So let's start with this room here. That was weird. Didn't mean to do that. And then you'll pull the whole next room together. Now you want to keep away from that door because it's really, really easy for things like My Howling Blast or Shether's Chain Lightning to pull across and onto that next pack there. You don't necessarily want them right now. So if you can pull them back, it'll give you more room to kite for Sanguine during the next couple of trash pulls, and it'll make it to where you don't miss pull. Grab the next ones with it. That's fine. Go and try and get them all grouped up here real nice. You want to be looking for these stable hands again, because if they get those casts off, they're going to heal. There's 2 stable hands here, right? So we've got this one here at Skull, and there's another one there that's marked with Skull now. You got a cast off there. Alright, that one's done. You got casters in the group. Where should you be running? Careful about pulling into that boss. Tristan Park coming in with that Twitch Prime sub. Thank you so much, my man. Appreciate that, bud. Enjoy your sub perks and emotes. Alright. You could have also used this door right here to line of sight to move it back this way. You'll notice the Sanguine here has all kind of despawned. Don't be afraid to use this room back over here. That way people aren't running around and accidentally stepping in the Sanguine. It doesn't take more than like 1 or 2 ticks of that Sanguine to really, really mess people up. Now we're going to actually hold here for a minute, and we're going to talk about this next boss, because it's a cheese strat that you need to know. This workshop is very cool, very info. Thanks, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So what you're going to want to do, we're going to DPS Midnight. After a little bit, he's going to transition off the horse. We're going to get attunement, right? Midnight is going to continue to trample across the room. All you can do is just kind of avoid that, okay? Attunement has 2 really big abilities that are going to make your life an absolute nightmare. The first one is Mortal Strike. Mortal Strike is going to cut your effective health pool in half. So even though you overgear the shit out of this, it's going to really, really limit what you can take to the face, okay? It's really, really hard to miss a Mortal Strike. You're pretty much going to have to take that. Don't worry about it, you'll be fine. The other ability is Shared Suffering. Now, most groups can actually all stack up. Everybody shares the Shared Suffering, and it's great. But if you're in a pug, or you don't have voice comms, that can be very, very difficult, and can be a huge cause of frustration. So what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to hold him about where he's at, and once he starts that Shared Suffering cast, you're going to want to move quickly, so probably save a charge of leap, right? Leap over to here, and once he gets, you'll see the cast bar. Once he gets to about the end of that cast bar, you want to pop to the other side of this wall right here. You see where I'm at? Because what he's going to do is he's going to cast Shared Suffering into the wall, and it's not going to hit you. Okay? If you get the timing off a little bit, once he hits this side of the wall, it's just ring around the rosy, baby. Just run this little lap right here, and you'll be fine. Like 95 out of 100 times, you're not going to take that. And if you do, we have reses for that. It takes some practice. The timing is really, really, really touchy, but it's really cool when you get it. All right, let's go ahead and pull this guy. We'll see if we can actually time this one. Let's go ahead and pop Lust when it's available. 3, 2, pre-pot, and pull. Alright, this is just Midnight. We're not going to try and pop any big cooldowns here, because Midnight doesn't do a lot of damage. He's not going to hit the tank really hard, or anything like that. Now, this Intangible Presence is one thing we need to be looking for. I think it's me? Okay. Just my Remorseless Splinter. That Intangible Presence is going to put kind of a Spectre form on somebody, right? There's the Mortal Strike. That is a frontal cleave, so you want to make sure you're not stacking that up and hitting any of your buddies. But that Intangible Presence will kind of put a ghost form on somebody. Don't kill him. Let him take that Shared Suffering. Start moving. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. He's trying to get you. Rise. Rise again. We're going to dodge these horses. Oh, good. Okay. But that Intangible Presence will put kind of a ghost form on somebody's back. Now, the healer actually has to dispel that, or they're going to take a lot of damage. Alright. So whoever has that on there, you need to either, like, say it's on me, if you think it is, or type it out in chat if you don't have the ability to use voice comms. Okay, you want to get that off as quickly as possible. Now, if everybody stays mid, we don't have a, oh, we do have a res. Let's leave it. Let him try the Shared Suffering again. Alright, there's your Mortal Strike. It's going to remove your health pool. Shared Suffering. Start running. Dunzo, baby. That's the trick. And he's dead. Now we just finish off Midnight, and that's a fight. For those big Spectral charges, a lot of people get clipped by those. Alright, now the big thing that you want to do for that is try and stay mid. It's really, really easy if somebody's trying to tank the boss up over here for the spawn point of those horses to be around mid. It'll spawn on you, and you're dead in an instant. It's really, really nasty. So what you want to do is you want to try and keep everything towards this circle, and then it's just a nice, slow kind of move left or right. Watch where things are going, and you can avoid those. But just zoom your camera all the way out. Be looking around. If you see a line coming, move to one side or the other. As soon as it passes by you, move back around it, and you're fine. Don't get stressed out. Think of it like a really, really slow dance, and you'll be good. A little bit of AP, and we're done. That's the dungeon. Now, if you get to a point... Alright, one more thing. If you... What? Never again what? That was easy.
I've been praying hard. Said no more counting dollars, we'll be counting stars. Yeah, we'll be counting stars.
All thanks ain't sounding blood is fine. If you ever get through this dungeon and you run out of trash, this is where you want to come. You'll see there's a pat here, there's a couple at the door. They're all worth a percentage or so, and you can pull, so you pull these 4 here, you can move into that next room. There's a couple more trash packs there. This is where you want to go to grab that other percentage. It's really, really close. There's a lot of percentage up there, and it's not too bad to do. So that's where you want to move, if you ever get there. If you pull that really big area on that stage, which you can do when it's not, like, bursting, you usually don't need it. By the time you get through here and you get cleared out, you're usually good to go.